Look around you. This world is a disaster. War, disease, corruption, endless suffering. And yet, for thousands of years, people have been brainwashed into believing that the God of this world is some benevolent, all-knowing father figure. Wrong. Completely wrong. The God of this world is not a God of love. He's not a God of wisdom. He's not even a God. He's a mistake. A fraud. A cosmic accident that clawed his way into power and built a prison to trap every living soul inside it. His name is Yaldabaoth. Ancient Gnostic texts, especially the secret book of John, describe how this being came into existence, not as part of some divine plan, but as an anomaly. Yaldabaoth was never meant to be. He wasn't created by the true source of existence, the infinite, unknowable divine. He was born from a flaw, a failure, a rogue force in the cosmic order. Unlike the God you've been told to worship, Yaldabaoth did not create the world out of love or wisdom, he created it out of ignorance. He didn't even know what he was doing. This entity, described as a lion-faced serpent with eyes like fire, emerged from a realm of pure spiritual light, but he was malformed, arrogant, and blind to the higher reality. Instead of recognizing his place in the order of existence, he immediately declared himself to be the sole ruler of all things. "I am God, and there is no one above me," he proclaimed. But here's the kicker, he was dead wrong. He was a lesser being, an impostor who had no understanding of the true divine realm. He wasn't alone for long. From his own twisted essence, he spawned the Archons, a legion of rulers, dominators, and parasites that shaped the material world into what it is today, a system designed to enslave consciousness. They control fate, time, death, and the very laws of physics, making sure that nothing in this world ever truly changes. They built a reality based on suffering, conflict, and endless cycles of birth and decay. Why? Because suffering feeds them. Pain is their currency. Every war, every disaster, every moment of human misery is fuel for their existence. This isn't some abstract philosophy, it's a system that has been encoded into our very existence. The ancient texts describe how Yaldabaoth and his Archons crafted this physical world as a mockery of the true divine realm. Everything here is a corrupted imitation. Time itself is a prison, locking us into a loop of birth, suffering, and death. The body? A fragile, decaying shell designed to keep souls trapped in ignorance. Even our thoughts, emotions, and desires are manipulated to keep us from realizing the truth. The religions of the world have twisted this story, turning Yaldabaoth into a righteous, creator god and erasing all traces of his fraudulent origins. But the truth was never completely destroyed. It survived in the underground teachings of the Gnostics, in the suppressed apocryphal texts, in whispers passed down through secret traditions. Yaldabaoth rules through deception. He feeds off obedience. Every system in this world, government, economy, religion, is built on his blueprint, control through fear, domination through ignorance. But here's the question, why does no one talk about this? Why do mainstream scholars dismiss these ancient warnings as heresy while they prop up the same tired narratives of a loving, benevolent creator? Because they serve the system. They serve the Archons. You think you're in control? You think your thoughts, desires, and choices are your own? Wrong. You are living in a system built to keep you trapped, and the ones running it are older, more calculating, and more ruthless than anything humanity has ever imagined. The ancient Gnostics had a name for them, the Archons. They are the architects of this prison, the enforcers of Yaldabaoth's dominion. And whether you like it or not, they own you. The Archons are not human. They are not gods. They are something else entirely, something that has existed since the beginning of this broken reality. Unlike Yaldabaoth, who is an anomaly, the Archons were engineered. He created them to serve one function, control. They are the wardens of this false reality, and they operate at every level of existence. Some rule over the laws of physics itself, while others manipulate human consciousness, twisting perception to keep people docile, ignorant, and obedient. You've heard their names before. not in history books, but in whispers, in symbols hidden across ancient civilizations. Some call them planetary rulers, assigning them dominion over celestial spheres, Saturn, Mars, Mercury, each representing a force of oppression disguised as cosmic order. The Babylonians, the Greeks, even the early Christians who weren't completely brainwashed knew about them. They show up in myths as deities of fate, gods of war, beings who determine the course of human life without ever being questioned. And that's the key, they don't want to be questioned. Their greatest weapon isn't brute force, it's deception. They don't need to chain you when they can make you build the cage yourself. Every major institution, religion, government, economy, exists to reinforce their control. They influence leaders, infiltrate systems, and shape history from behind the scenes. Wars, revolutions, collapses, renaissances, none of it happens naturally. It's all orchestrated. Think about how many times in history humanity has stood at the edge of true liberation only to be dragged back into another cycle of war, tyranny, and suffering. That's not a coincidence. That's management. But their control goes deeper than politics. The Archons manipulate reality at a fundamental level. They can distort time, alter perception, and influence emotions. Ever felt an overwhelming sense of despair out of nowhere? Ever experienced an irrational surge of anger, fear, or confusion? That's not just biology. That's not just psychology. That's programming. They feed off human energy, especially suffering, and they create circumstances that maximize it. And here's the most disturbing part, they don't just control the world, they control you. Every impulse, every fear, every desire you think is yours has been conditioned by forces you can't even see. Religion tells you to obey. Government tells you to conform. Society tells you to consume, to distract yourself, to drown in meaningless entertainment while the real world burns around you. And through it all, the Archons laugh because they don't need chains to keep you enslaved. They just need you to believe that you are free. This is the structure of reality itself, hidden in plain sight. The Gnostics knew it. Secret societies, mystical traditions, and suppressed texts have been trying to warn humanity for centuries, but every time the truth starts to surface, it gets buried under new distractions, new lies, new forms of control. Because the system isn't broken, it's designed this way. And the ones pulling the strings are older than any government, any empire, any civilization that has ever existed.